long-haul revolution almost seems to be over before it got going, at least in Europe. Air France had June brand, and it only announced it 18 months ago, and it's already taken its last flight. It was aimed at younger flyers, and it lasted less than 2 years. It's the most stunning example of airline corporate reversal, perhaps since Lufthansa's Eurowings, which is also getting out of the long-haul market, low-cost long-haul, part of a company-wide restructuring. But Eurowings, which is all part of Germanwings, which is all part of something else, which has only just been put together in the first place a couple of years ago, it begs the question. Brian Summers is the senior aviation business editor at Skift. He joins me now from Los Angeles. Brian, it is extraordinary that these, particularly June, I mean, what an admission of absolute failure.
Well, in some ways it is extraordinary, in some ways it's not. I speak a lot with United Airlines President Scott Kirby. I think you do as well. He has said for years, airlines within airlines simply do not work. The biggest reason is, you spoke about in your intro, you called them low-cost long-haul airlines. They have one problem. They're not really low cost. If you're a company like Lufthansa Group or you're a company like Air France KLM, you cannot get these subsidiaries to have actually low cost because you have labor unions that are fighting it. So these airlines were a disaster from the beginning.
Right. So how do they? So you've got Level, for example, which is part of IAG. Now, Willie seems to have done a particularly good job of hiving it off, ring-fencing it and giving it a very niche market rather than, say, folding it Level into Vueling.
Yeah, Level gets to do its own thing. It's very small. It's based in Spain. It sort of has only one purpose, right? To play defense against Norwegian Air and to make Norwegian Air's life very difficult. It doesn't do much else besides that.
So is the long-haul, low-cost revolution over?
No, it's not, Richard. It's just going to change what it is. So I was talking recently with Air France KLM CEO Ben Smith about this. And look, he has some airplanes with 450 seats on them. He has airplanes with more than 500 seats on them. He doesn't need this sub-brand called June that doesn't actually have low cost. He has low costs on his own planes. So, you take 50 seats in the back of the aircraft, you make them very, very uncomfortable, and you sell them for extremely cheap. It works very well. You don't need the airline within the airline.
So this is the basic economy. This is the basic
Exactly. It's the basic economy. You just charge people for everything, and you discount the seats in the back.
Is that going to work? Because I look, for example, down in Australia, and you see the way Jetstar coexists extremely successfully with Qantas.
Yeah, Jetstar is probably the only success story of this sort of airline in the entire world. One of the reasons it does succeed is because Qantas takes a hands-off approach. Jetstar gets to run the airline the way it wants to run the airline. With Eurowings, Lufthansa had no idea what it was doing. It wasn't really a separate airline. Sometimes it was, sometimes it wasn't. It never worked.
Good to see you, sir. Come back again.
Good to see you. Thank you.